you ever go back to the woolly swamp, well, you better not go at night. There's things out there in the middle of them woods make a strong man die of fright. Things crawl and things fly and things creep around on the ground. They say the ghost of old Lucius Clay gets up and he walks around, but I couldn't believe it. Just had to find out for myself and I couldn't conceive it. 'Cause I wouldn't listen to nobody else and I couldn't believe it. Just had to find out for myself. There's just some things in this world you can't explain. Old man lived in a woolly swamp way back in the Booker Woods. He never did do a lot of harm in this world, but he never did do no good. People didn't think too much of him. They all thought he acted funny. Old man didn't care about people anyway. All he cared about was his money. Stuff it all down in mason jars and he'd bury it all around. On certain nights, if the moon was right, he'd dig it up out of the ground. He'd pour it all out on the floor of his shack and he'd run his fingers through it. Yeah, Lucius Clay was a greedy old man, that's all there was to it. But I couldn't believe it. Just had to find out for myself and I couldn't conceive it. 'Cause I wouldn't listen to nobody else and I couldn't believe it. Just had to find out for myself. There's just some things in this world you can't explain. Cable boys was white trash and they lived over on Carver's Creek. They were mean as a snake and sneaky as a cat and belligerent when they'd speak. One night the oldest brother said, "Y'all meet me at the woolly swamp later. We'll take old Lucius' money and we'll feed him to the alligators." Found an old man out back, shovel in his hand. 13 rusty mason jars just dug up out of the sand. They all went crazy and they beat the old man. They picked him up off the ground, threw him in the swamp and stood there and laughed as the black water sucked him down. And he turned around and went back to the shack and picked up the money and ran. When they realized they were running in quicksand, they struggled and screamed, couldn't get away, and just before they went under, they could hear that old man laughing in a voice as loud as thunder. That's been 50 years ago, and you can still go by there yet. There's a spot in the yard in the back of that shack where the ground is always wet. On certain nights, if the moon is right, down by the dark footpath, you can hear 3 young men screaming. You can hear the old man laugh. But I couldn't believe it. Just had to find out for myself and I couldn't conceive it. 'Cause I wouldn't listen to nobody else and I couldn't believe it. Just had to find out for myself. There's just some things in this world you can't explain. There's just some things in this world you can't explain.